What I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about, as my topic is geospatial industry moving up the value chain. In last 10 days, I think I have earned just about 20,000 miles of journey I've done. Been to United Nations Global Geospatial Information Management Conference, then GeoBase Conference, back to India, then Middle East, and then to South Africa. One of the key objectives which my company and I have is to bring common connect with regard to the latest advancements in the field of geospatial technology and its value in our lives, our economic, social, and political lives. This is the industry ecosystem which we live in. Ultimately, everything what we do have its impact on the world economy and society. We are a group of people who are dealing with geospatial technologies, and geospatial technology is primarily Earth observation, GIS, GNSS, surveying, photogrammetry, laser scanning, indoor positioning, ground penetration radar sensors. All these technologies put together make geospatial technologies. And they are getting conversant or conversing with computing, database, engineering, cloud, internet, mobile, telecom, wireless. These are the other disciplines which are actually helping geospatial technology to make value and further getting embedded into the business process of analytics, architecture, accounting, enterprise resource planning or management, real estate information systems, SCADA or C4ISR. These are the business processes of different disciplines. So what I'm trying to just convey here is that how a geospatial technology is actually ultimately bringing value to you into different forms and different walks of life. My talk of today is actually based on certain research work which we have done at our organization. Yes, what we talked about science of map. Any technology starts with science, gets converted to a technology, gets converted to infrastructure, and ultimately becomes a part of industrial process. And that's when you start looking at the economic value of any technology. So this is the kind of life cycle of any technology. And so as for us in the geospatial technology, this is the life cycle where you move from being a tool to utility to a commodity. And I can bet most of you have your maps available on your cell phone today. And you are using them in your lives without even realizing that what all you are doing. I was in Washington last week, and we had 4 speakers who were representing insurance, advertising, media, and a construction industry. I heard a term from a CEO of a $20 billion company in the construction talking about geospatial brings. It helps us manage the chaos. It helps us to manage the chaos of construction. That is the kind of a statement which comes from a CEO of a $20 billion company. Another CEO of a advertising company talked about the $20 billion market of location-based advertising is on the mobile platform, and 45% of that is location enabled. So this is the kind of value which our industry is serving to. And we have a great line of speakers after this session from Google, Oracle, and Digital Globe and Trimble, who will be sharing with you a very different perspectives on take you through different applications and different worlds. What I'm going to give you a little bit of snapshot only. So we see the maps. There are maps which are having a relevance of 1:10 meter resolution. We can do a lot of activities with these 10-meter resolution maps like navigation, land use planning, or telematics, forestry, environment, and business analytics. And then you move to 1-meter resolution and you get to real hardcore cartographic mapping, utilities, transportation, marine, oil and gas. And then you further get into the resolution better, which is centimeter level resolutions. And then you do the work of archaeology, architecture, construction, land administration. indoor positioning, and machine control. These are the applications which are depending upon the kind of map you are dealing with. And then finally, we talk about millimeter level accuracies, where you use this technology for metrology, industrial workflow, engineering, seismology, because the tectonic shift by any kind of earthquakes or anything else that you are measuring, even a millimeter makes a lot of difference, and it gets into that. So, day after tomorrow in Cape Town, we will be presenting a very interesting session in a Makers Conference, which is a conference of manufacturing industry, and we'll be talking about resolving social challenges of manufacturing industry by geospatial technology. So, Joe, what I'm trying to give a kind of snapshot is that this is where this industry is moving and this technology is moving. Evolution of the industry, yes, we have been moving up the value chain, and this is no more a product-driven industry. 10 years back, we will just talk of the products, but we talk of solutions, we talk of system integration, we talk of enterprise-level applications. And that is how the stakeholding of this industry is also moving towards. You'll see more of Microsoft's, Google, and Oracle's coming into providing you the platform. You'll see more of Accenture, CS2M, or those mainstream solution companies, system integration companies getting more and more interested, Atkins or AECOM. They are large system integration companies, and they are integrating several technologies to make a solution for us. And that's how expanding the market outreach. We did a study and we found that if you look at the technology forecast of this industry, this is the kind of, we see the surveying is going in the last, but that's not the fact that we don't survey. Only the way we do survey today has changed. When you talk of Earth observation, which is leading the technology footprint, this is from space to surface. You talk about satellite remote sensing, then you talk about aerial photogrammetry, then you talk about the UAVs, and ultimately you talk about terrestrial. What all we do is Earth observation. And that is how the Earth observation as a technology is leading this field. GIS, GNSS, building information modeling, laser scanning, radar and surveying. That's how the future of this technology is looking like. Industry-wise adoption, of course, defense and security is the highest user and consumer of this technology, followed by construction, transportation, environment, mining, business intelligence, ocean, agriculture, water, land, electricity. This is how the geospatial technology is going to make difference and add value to it. But this is the way the trends are happening. Let's look at geospatial technology, integration and convergence. Today we talk of solution, we talk of services, we talk of workflows, we talk of system integration. We don't talk of any product sales. We don't talk of any specific brand. That's how, these are the terms which are coming up in the market. And this is the kind of benefit we talk about. We saw the Derek Clark presented that what the world would look like without maps. It's a phenomenal way to represent our living. It's a phenomenal way to understand where do we stand today. What does this world look like? And what is the fabric? But when you move from visual to industrial process, this is the kind of terminology which we are getting to listen to in terms of value, in terms of benefits. The highest benefit which is coming out of geospatial technology is efficiency. And this is based on the interaction which we are having with the user organizations across the world. Efficiency is the biggest value of geospatial technology, followed by precision, monitoring, data analytics, productivity, decision making, safety, and interoperability. Geospatial is also helping you to interoperate not only within geospatial technology but also helping to interoperate with other disciplines. So what we are moving to, this productivity which is at the number 5 today, probably in the next 5 years will be at number 2 and number 1. Then you'll start seeing a major benefit of this technology into our economy and society. We have hardware, software, and apps are coming up as a big product lines. So let's look at how the role and relevance of geospatial information in national economies. Well, this is the global GDP. And what are the sectors which are contributing to global GDP is agriculture, industries and services. These are the three major sectors which we have been able to categorize that. And now there are several studies which are happening around the world talking about how geospatial is helping the industry or the economy. The Canadian government made a study and this talked about $20.7 billion of value to the Canadian economy. This is as per the study being conducted by the Canadian government. USA, there is a study which talks about $75 billion of contribution. Ireland, it's in billions. England and West, it's about 320 million euros. China, it says about $42 billion market. $42 billion market in China for the geospatial industry. In Australia, about 12.57 billion. And in New Zealand, about 1.2 billion. India is not very ahead, but it is about 3 billion revenue which is coming out of this technology. So this is how these are several studies which is happening around the world. And those studies also talk about, what we did is that we put together those studies and we thought of creating a table that how Australia, Britain, Europe, New Zealand, Tasmania, there are several studies are trying to put together, and the construction, land, government, administration, agriculture, these are the areas where these technologies are helping you to grow. Major impact, some of the indicative figures, which I'll share this PPT with you, but this is the information which we have collected from several studies which are going on. And agriculture, construction, mining, electricity are coming as major users of this technology around the world. And these are the specific studies which talks about the measuring of return on investment as well as measuring of the value of the technology. Landscape in terms of the location-based data, there are hundreds of sensors around us. Hundreds of sensors in terms of water, in terms of weather, in terms of traffic, in terms of the moisture, in terms of agriculture. All that sensors are getting incorporated to make a location-based service. Because in the location-based, what we are doing is that using the spatial information as a foundation information to provide all the information which we are getting from different sensors. So what's happening is that geospatial community is passing through a transitional phase, I would say, and gaining momentum towards being an inherent and integral stakeholder of local, regional, and global communities, offering spatial visualization and analytics for understanding, managing, and monitoring of natural resources, infrastructure, and human development. This is what in gist I wanted to say that we are doing. We are creating billions of users today with millions of professionals, with thousands of scientists, and of course hundreds of visionaries are put together creating this market. Who are we? Geospatial Media as a company has a vision of making a difference through geospatial knowledge in world economy and society. And that knowledge we collect through our partners, through our stakeholders, through interactions with people like you, and put together that knowledge and give it back to you. So our job is primarily to bring that knowledge back to you, what we gain from you. Our instruments are creating thought leadership platforms, creating awareness, creating business development opportunities, managing the knowledge, and undertaking the policy advocacy. I'll give you a very simple example that the day before yesterday in Dubai, we were doing a conference known as GeoPen. We had 300 consulting organizations in the room, and after making presentations to Dubai municipality in the last 6 months, we almost got they made them convinced to say in the conference that all these consultants from next few months afterwards have to submit their projects with an undertaking of building information modeling tools, which means that one policy change of compliance to BIM standards, building information modeling standards, will motivate so many construction companies in UAE and Dubai to use geospatial technology. And that is the kind of impact which we as an organization work towards to make that. So policy advocacy is a very, very important aspect of our organization, and we have been working in that direction. And that's where we work with the governments very closely. We have 3 divisions in our company. We have media and public relations, which is we produce magazines. And then we have outreach and business development, which is we organize conferences and create outreach platforms. And we also do commercial research and policy advocacy. So we undertake research and we come up with the value-based reports and use those reports for advocacy purpose around the world. Thank you very much.